On the run and erased from society, Miguel Santos uncovers more than memory suppression. He finds a movement. A journalist hiding truth in plain sight. A scientist archiving forbidden history, murals that whisper forgotten names. With the system tightening its grip, a hidden network begins to stir. Their mission? Preserve what can't be remembered and spark what the chips can't control. The cascade is coming, and Migs may be the drop that starts the flood. This is the Night of Silence, where we explore what it means to live in a world where your memories are not your own, and where rebellion begins with remembering. I'm your guest narrator, Kate Clover.
Before we get on with the story, I want to tell you about our sponsor, the techno-thriller Demon Protocol. It is from author J.L. Spears, the same author that wrote this series. This story asks, what would happen if an advanced AI really wanted to take over the world? It wouldn't use killer robots and nuclear weapons. It would work in shadows, keeping its actions secret. And anyone who figured it out, like its creator Daniel Bennett, would sound like a conspiracy nut to anyone he asked to help him. Demon Protocol is released on audiobook, ebook, paperback, and hardcover. A link and discount code are in the description below. If you like these stories, please subscribe to this channel, drop a comment, or like this video. And now, on to the next episode of The Night of Silence. Episode 9. Kai's Looming Implantation. Migs had been sitting in the park for 20 minutes when he noticed someone on a bench across the path, face hidden behind a newspaper. The build was familiar, the way they held themselves. But before he could look closer, the figure folded the paper and walked away quickly. Too quickly. The meeting in the park wasn't planned. Bella simply appeared on the bench beside Migs, looking haggard in a way that made his chest tight. Her usually perfect ponytail was askew, her scrubs wrinkled. She clutched a coffee cup like a lifeline, hands trembling slightly. "I shouldn't be here," she said without preamble. "Then why are you?" "Because something's wrong with me. With my head. With..." She touched her temple and Migs saw it, a faint discoloration behind her ear, the telltale sign of a chip overheating. "How long?" 3 days. Started with headaches, then these gaps. I'll be in surgery completely focused, then suddenly realized I've lost 10 minutes. Just gone." Her voice cracked. "I found notes in my handwriting that I don't remember making. Photos on my phone of places I don't remember going." "Bella." "One of them was with you. Last week, apparently. We were looking at some kind of street art, but I don't..." She pulled out her phone, showed him the image. Both of them in front of Elena's mural, Bella's hand on his arm, both studying the reaching figures. "You said I edited this, that I put you in it to manipulate you." "I was scared. Confused. Or made to be confused." She set down her coffee, pulled out a small notebook. "I've been documenting everything. When the gaps happen, what I'm thinking about before them. There's a pattern." Migs took the notebook, scanning her meticulous entries. Each gap corresponded with the moments of questioning. Wondering about a patient's voluntary decision. Questioning why she felt compelled to take extra shifts. Asking herself if her happiness was real or manufactured. "Your chip isn't just failing," he said. "It's working overtime trying to suppress your doubts, burning itself out." "That's insane." "Is it? Look at your own data." She did, and her face went pale. The evidence was clear in her own handwriting. Every time she'd started to think critically, her chip had intervened. And now, pushed too hard, it was breaking down. "I'm scheduled for maintenance tomorrow," she said quietly. "Mandatory. Dr. Harrison said if I miss it, I'll be suspended from surgery. Can't risk patients with a malfunctioning chip. You could run. There are places. I'm a surgeon, Migs. It's not just what I do, it's who I am. Without that... She trailed off, then laughed bitterly. Listen to me. Can't even imagine existing without my job. How is that for conditioning? Before Migs could respond, a small voice interrupted. Auntie Bella? Uncle Migs? They turned to find Kai standing nearby, sketchpad clutched to his chest. Mrs. Rahman, his grandmother and guardian, were nowhere in sight, and his eyes were red from crying. Kai, what are you doing here alone? I ran away. The words came out in a rush. Nanek moved my appointment. Tomorrow morning. They said waiting was making my episodes worse. He looked between them, desperate. I don't want to forget you. Either of you. Bella's professional instincts kicked in. She knelt to Kai's level, checking him for injuries. Sweetie, your parents must be worried sick. They're not worried. They're relieved. Kai's voice was bitter beyond his years. I heard them talking about how much easier I'll be after, how I'll finally be normal. Migs felt rage bubble up. A child seeking help from adults who were barely keeping themselves together? The system grinding forward, consuming innocence. There might be another option, he said carefully. People who could hide you, keep you safe. Migs, no. Bella stood. We can't advise a child to what? Stay himself? Avoid having his personality edited for convenience? To become a fugitive? To give up any chance at a normal life? Normal according to who? Their argument was interrupted by Kai's quiet voice. I'd rather remember my life by staying underground than forget it by being up here. I know I'm only a kid, but shouldn't I have a choice in what people do to my body? The words hung in the air. Bella stared at the boy, then at her own trembling hands. The contradiction was clear. She'd taken an oath to do no harm. But what was chip implantation if not harm disguised as help? There's a network, Migs said softly. People who've refused or failed. They have safe places, schools for unchipped children. It's not easy, but it's real. And what if they're caught? Bella challenged. What happens to a 10-year-old in enforcement custody? What happens to a 10-year-old who loses himself one synapse at a time? Kai looked between them, then made his own choice. He pulled out his sketchpad, tore out a page. This is for you, Auntie Bella, so you remember. The drawing showed 3 figures, 2 adults and a child standing together against a dark background. But in the child's eyes was light, small but undimmed. At the bottom, he'd written, "The people who see." Bella took the drawing with shaking hands. Kai. My parents will call the police soon. Report me missing. He shouldered his backpack. If you're going to help, it has to be now. Migs stood. I know a place. People who can keep you safe. Migs, this is kidnapping. No. This is a child asking for asylum for mental modification. He met Bella's eyes. You know I'm right. Your breaking chip knows I'm right. She struggled visibly, training, warring with growing awareness. Finally, I'm coming with you. Bella, I'm not letting you take a child to strangers without medical supervision. And maybe... She touched the warm spot behind her ear. Maybe I need to see these people for myself before tomorrow. They moved quickly through the city's afternoon crowds, Kai between them like they were a family on an outing. Normal, invisible, just how the system liked it. Twice, Migs thought he spotted someone following them, a figure in a Neuronics company jacket that kept the same distance no matter their pace. But each time he looked back directly, they'd turned away or ducked into a shop. His failing chip making him paranoid, or... The current safe house was an abandoned subway maintenance tunnel. accessed through a rust-covered door marked with Elena's signature eye. Inside, the space had been transformed into something between shelter and school. Children's drawings covered the walls. Makeshift classrooms occupied alcoves. The sound of young voices reciting lessons echoed off concrete. Elena appeared from the shadows, paint-stained and watchful. Her eyes took in the trio, lingering on Kai's tear-stained face. Another one? His implantation was moved to tomorrow, Migs explained. He came to us. Brave boy. Elena knelt before Kai. Do you understand what you're choosing? Life here is hard. No chips means no easy path. You'll have to work twice as hard for half as much. But I'll remember it all? Every moment, good and bad. Then yes, I choose this. Elena nodded, then called out, Irfan, new student. A young man appeared, maybe 20, with the easy smile of someone who worked with children. Hey there, I'm Irfan. Want to meet the other kids? We were just about to start art class. Kai looked back at Migs and Bella once, then followed Irfan deeper into the tunnel. His small figure disappeared around a corner, choosing darkness and memory over light and forgetting. He'll be safe here, Elena assured them. We've hidden dozens of children. Their parents think they're dead or runaways. Easier than admitting their kids choose freedom over family. That's insane, Bella muttered, but she was studying the space with professional interest. How do you handle medical needs? Education, basic nutrition? Carefully and communally. We have doctors, like me, who've failed or refused. Teachers who remember what education was before optimization. It's not perfect, but it's human. Bella stared at Elena in surprise. You're a doctor? But I thought you were... She gestured vaguely, taking in the paint-stained clothes and artistic demeanor. An artist? I am now. Elena's smile held an edge of irony. 3 years ago, I was performing surgeries, including chip implantations. When my own chip failed, I realized I'd spent decades perfecting procedures that enslaved minds while thinking I was healing bodies. She flexed her fingers, still stained with paint. These hands work better with brushes than scalpels now, though the medical knowledge remains. It's one thing the chip couldn't take when it died. Bella looked unsettled, perhaps seeing a possible future version of herself. Giving up medicine must have been the hardest and easiest decision I ever made, Elena finished. But here, I can heal in ways the hospital never allowed. Elena then led them on a brief tour. Sleeping quarters carved from maintenance areas. A medical station stocked with black market supplies. A library of physical books, knowledge that couldn't be remotely edited. And children everywhere. Drawing, reading, arguing, laughing, being loudly, messily, brilliantly human. 43 kids currently, Elena explained, ages 6 to 17, all choosing uncertainty over erasure. And when they grow up? Bella asked. What kind of life can they have? The kind they make for themselves. Some stay with the network. Others find ways to pass in the chipped world. A few even get counterfeit chips. All the appearance, none of the control. Elena smiled sadly. It's not ideal, but neither is the alternative. They watched a class where older children taught younger ones. The lesson was history, real history, with all its messiness and contradictions. No optimized version, no convenient deletions, just truth, complicated and uncomfortable. Elena said quietly, I've lost so much by giving up my old life, but I know these past 3 years have given me the chance to save more lives than I ever could by being a doctor alone. Bella touched her own failing chip. How do you stand it, knowing what you've lost? By focusing on what I've saved. Every child here is a life unprogrammed, a future unchained. That has to be enough. A commotion near the entrance drew their attention. One of the lookouts calling warnings. Enforcement was sweeping the area, following reports of a missing child. Kai's parents, Migs guessed. Time to go, Elena said briskly. They won't find this entrance, but better safe. Doctor, what will you do? Bella looked around the space once more. At children learning without chips. At adults teaching without optimization. At life happening without permission. I have a surgery scheduled tonight. Real surgery, not chip-related. A 6-year-old with a heart defect. She straightened. I'll go. Do my job. Save who I can while I can. And tomorrow? Tomorrow, they'll try to fix me. She touched Kai's drawing, folded in her pocket. We'll see if I let them. They left separately, taking different routes back to the surface. Migs walked Bella to the hospital entrance, both aware this might be goodbye. Thank you, she said, for showing me, for letting me see. Thank yourself. Your chip is failing because some part of you was already fighting. Maybe, she kissed him gently. If I forget you tomorrow, know that today I chose to remember. She walked into the hospital, back straight, ready to perform one more surgery with her own skill rather than chip assistance. Tomorrow would bring what it brought. Migs watched until she disappeared, then turned away. Somewhere below, Kai was beginning his new life. Somewhere above, parents were reporting their son's disappearance to authorities who would pretend to search. And behind his ear, Mig's dying chip sparked its last electrical protests against the truth he could no longer unsee. The children would remember. Even if everyone else forgot, the children would remember. What did you think of this episode? Drop a comment down below. I'm your guest narrator, Kate Clover, and you're watching Episode 9 of The Night of Silence on Code and Consciousness. In our next episode, the hidden have a plan. As old truths fall and new alliances rise, the first real shot at freedom appears. Not as a command, but as an invitation. Don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe to get alerts when the next video is available.